right, that's it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the dailies here this morning, and we'll start with New Telegraph. Governors, biggest beneficiaries of fuel subsidy removal. NASU. Oh, okay. 6, national minimum wage review over inflation rise. Subsidy removal affected 90% of businesses in Nigeria negatively, ascribed to reports. Well, seeing this headline, it comes across as though NASU will have information about this if they're saying governors are the biggest beneficiaries. Now, if you only go to the fact out there is that yes, the president did approve 5 billion, 2 have already been handed down, so 3. I guess we need to revisit that and find out the modalities for them to get the 3. On what basis are they giving every state the same amount of money? Do they have the same conditions? Will they achieve same kind of effect or better effect than some? What do they want to achieve with this? Are governors, quote, utilizing this properly to avoid anyone pocketing these monies? So maybe NASU may have some scoop. You never know. So it's important to go ahead and find this out. And then if there is, then of course, the governors will have to explain. But as we've always highlighted, there has to be that template that everyone can see. This is the way we went about disbursing or utilizing these funds. And so what results? Who are those that benefited? So if they said the last NEC meeting, the list they had was not good enough, lacked integrity. Now, what processes have you put in place for this one? Were they given an excuse for the last list just so as they come up with something that will suit them? I guess we will find out, or we should be told by some of these as we keep asking all of those questions. At the bottom strip, Oshomole, FG states borrowing workers 11 trillion naira contributory pension funds at low interest rate, accuses Labour of breaching procedure for effective strike. Look, this is going to be a serious matter now, because you know that the people are already beaten and battered by the vagaries of the economy. And so if you're borrowing 11 trillion naira contribution pension fund at low interest rates, is that right? Is that the way it's supposed to be? And if this is the case, the people didn't even get their pensions when they're supposed to, because I know the last time certain person said when they got there, it was a different story from what they had told them when they set up the scheme. And when they got there, it completely changed. And I think we should pay attention to this, because at that point, when you're in pensions, you know, in many cases, that's all they have. That is all they have. And so, look, it's really important that we should focus on this at some point. That's New Telegraph this morning.
Well, the Guardian's new, the one I have here, and they start out with a focus on the states, tied into that one that New Telegraph led with probably. And the states governors are the beneficiaries of subsidy removal. But see how Guardian captioned it. States grown in debt, poor funding despite 16 trillion naira FAC windfall. On page 6 you get the details, but look at the infographics there. Speaks volumes. The total FAC shared by states in last 4 years, 15.58 trillion naira. How much of IGR came from the states? Just 40% of the FAC allocations in the last 4 years. And they talk about FAC allocations by geopolitical zones. It's all there in the infographics on the front page of The Guardian, and something to look at, quite interesting. But going down below that, local content stagnates at 54% amid $25 billion oil investments. The investment is on page 5. News page 5, you get more details on that. I think that came out from the Local Content Summit, yes, that was held yesterday in Yenagoa. Senate's child NPA customs over $1.68 billion revenue loss. It's on page 5. I mean, the government continues to talk about revenue. That's how they're hoping to sort out all the debt issues. But the carrying of revenue losses, Senate is also probing in one corner. COP28, Nigeria reaps windfall in $1 million Africa-focused pledges. Let's hope that words will be matched with action beyond COP28. And by the side of that, you have the Gambia returns 9 Europe-bound stowaways to Lagos. Still, many seek to leave. Why? Makinde presents his budget for 2024 to the State Assembly. That's it from The Guardian.
And up next is This Nigeria, which has a potpourri of stories this morning. Let's take a look at the first one. That's the big story. Tinubu orders probe of Kaduna drone attack as death toll hits 85. 66 villagers injured, NEMA confirms. State officials visit devastated community. Army chief apologizes, donates 10 million naira for treatment of victims, says terrorists embedded with civilians in affected community. Let's take a look at other stories this morning. Right beside the nameplate, FG to revoke unused oil exploration licenses granted Owando Total Energy. It's a page 30 read. So, why are the licenses being revoked? What atmosphere are they operating in the first place? How conducive is the business atmosphere? That's an interesting one. You'll find details on the inside pages, page 30 to be precise. There's this one also at the bottom of the big story. Police defuse IED near Unimed, that's the University of Maiduguri, I believe. No lives lost, says spokesperson. That's a page 23 read. So what's the potential of insecurity in that area? And it's in proximity to the higher institution there. We hope that there are no landmines in that location, and there's due diligence done such that there's no unwholesome consequence in the future. A few more stories, and that will be it for This Nigeria rather. Politics now. Crisis festers in Benue. Party official accuses government of planning anti-Tinubu protests. So besides the local government leadership crisis, it looks as if there's more brewing within the APC fold in Benue State. Perhaps we'll have that conversation in the coming days. And lastly, this is an interesting one. 50 million hectares of Nigeria's arable land uncultivated. That's ascribed to a minister. I wonder if that's the Minister of Agriculture. The question is, what will be done? Let's leave it there for This Nigeria.
The Nigerian Observer is talking about what some of the states have started to do, Edo State in particular. Obaseki presents 325.3 billion naira 2024 budget to Edo Assembly. And look at the priorities: growth, employment enablers, road infrastructure, health, education, others. Top priorities. That's the writer to the story. The details you'll find on the front page continues on page 2. About the nameplate, National Assembly warns MDAs against lackadaisical approach in 2024 budget defense. I don't know if we have even started to ask questions around what did you do with the previous money? I don't know. Is that how will I give money to my child and say?
That's a very instructive question, particularly because, there's this consistent reference to unactualized budget for capital expenditure in consistent budgets. So that's why the Speaker must make good his promise for openness and public hearings of budget in the future, starting with the 2024 budget.
I'm still okay. So from time to time we get that. Yes, I'm going to go there, guys. Auditor General's report, and what is being done about them. How are you giving somebody money who hasn't reported what he did with the previous one? Well, the president of the Senate, I believe, was the one that made this comment, warning ministries, departments, and agencies against lackadaisical approach in 2024 budget defense. But okay, so the warning is out, and that's not the first time we're hearing of these warnings. But please, who is asking questions about the performance of the one you collected before now? Isn't that the job of the Public Accounts Committee? Okay, so the Public Accounts Committee, which is usually headed by the opposition parties, are they what now? Bow and go? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, that's the lead. That story is right above the nameplate. And this rather unfortunate one is at the bottom of the picture of the governor presenting the budget to the Speaker of the House. Terrorists strike military camp, kill 15 soldiers, 3 civilians. This is not the kind of thing we want. I mean, how is this, for instance, different from what happened in Kaduna? So, I don't know. I don't know the way, what kind of conversation we're having with our people. These are trained soldiers, also have lost, Nigeria lost them, and their children and wives have also lost, or spouses have also lost, someone who is very, very important to them. But this is what we have on the front page. The details you'll find on page 2 of the Nigerian Observer this morning.
Take a look at Vanguard next. They focus on the 2024 budget. The lead story says Tinubu Shetima aids to spend 15.961 billion naira on trips. Oh, yeah. Villa mechanical, electrical maintenance, 9 billion naira. Vehicles, 6 billion naira. Foodstuff, catering materials, supplies, 602 million naira. State House miscellaneous, 2.54 billion naira. Villa computers, repairs, 980 million naira.
Are they buying new computers?
Villa computers, repairs, 980 million naira. That's what the story says. Villa honorarium, 365.8 million naira. So, look, budgets come every year. So this kind of stories come every year. What have the people done about it? The media has highlighted this time and again. What has been done about it? Much they can do now is keep investigating, up to people to then decide what they want. And not just at the federal level. What about the states? So what are they doing in their states? What are people asking of their governors? So look, people need to be realistic in this country and not try to paper over cracks or something. You have to ask questions from that level up to the top. Not enough for us to, yes, we've seen this one. Some states won't even let you see their budgets. You can't even see anything. And there are residents in those states who keep quiet and maybe they wait for the media to go and build a sacrificial lamb. Yes, they'll highlight it, but you have to ask them really hard questions out there. Go at it because it's your funds. So, look, I need to find out, when they say Villa computers, are they going to repair them? I don't think Villa is to combo computers. Well, this is the lead story here. So the line items too, I know the budget was trying to see, look, they needed the line items to be provided. So we'll find out and see, because as part of measures to reduce all of that, it starts from the line items. Let's see what is relevant, what is not. Do they buy furniture? Do they really buy furniture every year? And if they do, why? I've seen some state governors who said, look, I didn't have money to buy a new vehicle. I simply told my predecessor, please, leave the old cars that you have. Let me just start with that one until we can hit the ground running. So if that can happen, has it not been happening? Yet the budget, humongous millions for vehicles. Yeah. I think Lagos had 404 million for office of, I think it was chief of staff for visitors. I think that'll be just for 4 years. What happens to them after 4 years? They buy another one. Look at this above this lead story. FG won't weaponize religion, ethnicity. SGF tells Sultan Khan others.
That's a good one. As they say, much words with action.
It means the law should be the law. We shouldn't, in this part of the world, there's so much religion in several places and you never see results. Look at Saudi Arabia, Israel, look at the level of development in those countries. And then, well, that's where Christians, Muslims go for pilgrimage and things like that. But look at development. Look at even Dubai. Look at development. When you come here, then you hear a different story.
Sometimes it looks as if the religious books we read are different from what they read out there, the places where it's believed that this religion originated from. So books we read, they say for our different religions, it looks as if they are different from what's
But they
out
still
there.
go to Israel and Saudi Arabia.
That's what I'm saying. So it's as if both Christians and Muslims go for their pilgrimages and they come back being the same old, same old. There's no change. And I mean, we go to other climes, we see the things they do with the resources they have. And we're wondering, how is it that, I mean, Nigeria is an oil-producing country, right? We'll go to other countries where they produce oil and see what they're doing with their resources.
You know what? One of the parents of the children who are in Boko Haram, at least employers, I don't know, in Maiduguri, they said it became difficult for us as parents to have our children come back. And when they came back, they thought, what am I coming back to? Because over there, that appears to be the government I've seen. They give us money, we get money to do certain things, and these are people who, I don't remember which religion, and they said, look, they were somewhat ascetic in their religion, and they were really low-key, but when they saw funds, money to do certain things, they forgot about whatever religion they had told them. Those are realities that we need to wake up to, stark realities. And so it's up to us to decide what we want to do.
Okay, so let's just look at this one real quick. Business Day here. Business Day has this one they're leading with. Inside multi-billion naira Esther code racketeering. Yeah, inside multi-billion naira Esther code racketeering. That's what they're leading with. So you can imagine how people seek to travel because of how much Esther code they're going to get. Then see this on. Patients reel over 1,390% antibiotics price jump. Understand, some antibiotics they used to go for as little as 3,000 naira, now go for about 25,000 naira. And it's, boy.
God help them if it's not fake.
Help. Anyway, that's it from Business Day.
Nigerian News Direct this morning, which has also quite a number of stories on the front page. But listen to this one. IOCs, well, above IOCs, as a smaller insert, foreign divestments. IOCs, indigenous companies, decry multiple taxation bottlenecks in petroleum industry. So this gives us an insight into why licenses were revoked, but the operative word for those licenses that were revoked were unused licenses belonging to Total and Oando, from the story initially reviewed on the front page of This Nigeria this morning. And this is what the IOCs are saying. NCDMB for effective local content implementation. Minister identifies divestments by foreign companies as opportunity for developing in-country capacity. So the question is, what about those indigenous companies that have been issued licenses for some form of oil exploration, particularly the refining of petroleum? Why are they refining other offshoots of crude oil rather than petroleum, as we discovered yesterday from our guests?
I think the answer came yesterday as well.
As well, right? But we can't help but ask them all the same. Well, that's it. If you want more details, you'll have to, check News Direct. Page 2, to be precise, is where you find details. There are quite a number of other stories. Listen to these ones from above the nameplate. Lagos to open Okpebi, Mende, Ojota link bridge in Q2, that's quarter 2, 2024. That's an interesting one. But Lagos, what's happening to all the bad roads around? And they're increasing, by the way. So let's have those ones rehabilitated as well, besides the commissioning of the ambitious projects.
By the way, I think it's also apt to begin to draw attention to something that may be an issue. Well, the aspiration of the federal government and the state government, of course, is that Dangote refinery will come on stream real soon.
Okay, back to the indigenous companies and the IOCs.
How will those products be taken from the Lekki Free Trade Zone? Are they going to go through the roads?
How did the products come from the high sea when we're still importing?
No, well, this is in Lagos, right? And from what we understand, I'm not sure that the refinery will have enough storage capacity within the refinery itself. They have to take it somewhere for some kind of storage. Or you can't shut down you have to produce every day. If they're going to produce every day, how many tankers are going to leave the refinery every day? Something maybe 10, 20 on a daily basis.
We know from reports that it has a capacity of 650,000 barrels of crude per day, right?
And going by what we heard from Engineer Ogedegbe yesterday, that will produce something in the region of at least 50% PMS. We use 30 million liters every day in the country, and how many of them are going to, how many trucks are going to leave that
that's
refinery
a very good problem.
And I'm talking about all of this in the light of what you raised about the roads. The road, the Lekki road is fairly narrow. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just something for the Lagos State government to begin to think about.
But if you ask me, it's a good problem, and the benefits far outweigh the concerns being raised. You know, that's jobs. That means jobs for petrol tankers and drivers. I believe that's the Association of Road Transport Workers and NATO. I forget the exact nomenclature of NATO now.
It's good problem.
Good problem.
As well as good pressure.
Good pressure.
On the roads.
On the roads.
That's my concern.
Okay. Somebody doesn't want to hear about tolling Lekki toll gate again, but you have to think about that yourself. Just one more story, and that will be it for News Direct. Customs intercepts 18,100 liters PMS, 9 trailer loads of foreign rice, others worth 872 million naira. Let's leave it there for the Nigerian News Direct.
And also look at some of the dailies this morning. We're back right after now to take on the issues as they come. Do stay with us.